Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. Today we're gonna go over this trade that I took that I really loved. Honestly, we were able to not catch the complete bottom, but um, able to get close before it ended up having this move up. I really love this trade, and it just shows that my patience has been improving, and I'm just waiting patiently for what I want. Um, and sometimes that's part of trading too, but we'll definitely talk about that in a little bit. Let's go over the trade first. So I'll put on my chart executions, and then we'll kind of see where we added. But I'll also go on replay too, so I can um, show why I added and where I added as well on replay. So looking back, right, were we bullish or bearish? I thought we were bullish, right? The reason being is, again, we started here, 6 o'clock. I always start trading at 6 p.m. Eastern. I trade Asian session. I don't trade during the day. So even though these videos release during the day, like around 5 p.m. Eastern, I don't start trading until 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So I'm recording this on a Thursday, but this video gets released on a Friday the next day, right? So here, I look and see, we come back down, but we end up pushing back up above these highs here, and then we start settling, right? So I don't start trading till 7:30. We started our trade so late. The reason why we did was because at the time, if we go back on replay, I didn't get what I wanted until that time. And I personally, I've been going to bed late. I don't like trading so late. The last couple of days, my trading has been done by like 8:45, which I absolutely love. But in this scenario, it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm tired. And I know I have a busy work day tomorrow in the hospital and I really want to go to sleep. But this trade just took a while to play out. So here you can see this is where we start trading at about 7:30 or so, right? This is what it was looking like. We have a prior day value area high, prior day point of control, and then we also have our prior day value area low. To be honest, the most important lines right here, as I've been saying in the last few videos, is current session value area high, current session value area low, right? For me, those are the most important areas depending on what bias I have. So my bias today was bullish. So that means that I should be looking for ads and buys at value area low. This move right here was really nice, but obviously I don't trade at this time, but I love this move here because not only are you bouncing off these value areas, right? Again, it might have not been there at the time, but not only are you bouncing off that, but you're also going through point of control, through VWAP, which is this purple line, and then also through this yellow horizontal line, which is the prior day point of control on high volume, right? So that would have been a really nice place to add. And then you went all the way to prior day value area high. So good trade there if anyone took that. But for me, what I ended up taking wasn't until way later. So let's kind of look and see how price was. I was bullish the whole time, but I saw this. I'm like, we're currently above value area highs here. We're hitting the high right here. I'm like, I just might not take a trade today, right? Because I really want us to start hitting this white line. And as I was saying before in yesterday's video too, I learned a lot from yesterday's video, is that these lines are dynamic. They're not static whatsoever. So you can see here now, right? I'll actually go back so we can actually look at it. So at this high, right, this white line is at 248.50, so 23,248.50, right? If we fast forward a little bit, you'll see that line move. Why is it moving? Just because volume is shifting. This prior day point of control is now shifting up here because that's where, for this session anyway, where the most of volume is concentrated. You can even see by the volume nodes. I don't really use volume nodes, right? I understand how they work and how price moves through these areas, but really for me, just kind of like telling me where these areas are is more important for me, and then I can just kind of use price action to determine which way I want to go. So you can see that the price has now moved. You can see that this value area low that I'm looking to buy off of is now 23,258. So that's a 9.5 point gap from that previous low to where it is now, right? But this is what we're looking for. Whenever these areas too are in conjunction with support, right, such as like prior day point of control or actual support made off of the session, they tend to work better than if you just have this white line in the middle of nowhere, right? So I always look for that too. VWAP and VWAP and point of control. Geez, I can't talk. VWAP and point of control are important as well. I do like them, but for me, getting buys or sells, depending, but in this scenario, buys off these value areas, this value area low, and off of support is more important to me than where we are um, in relation to the VWAP and the current point of control. So that's all we're looking for. So what I did, here, let me rewind a little bit because I went a little bit further than what I wanted. All I did was I set an alert down here and I just waited. So I was playing Dragon Ball, I was playing a lot of Pokemon Go today, a lot of PvP, and I was just thinking that I just might not get a trade today, right? But we did end up getting that alert. I came to my computer and I was like, all right, now, right? Just because the alert sets off doesn't mean that, okay, you should really just be adding, right? We're just looking to see if we're gonna get a signal to add in that direction. So first trade was added at exactly 9:30. We got a really nice high volume candle here and pretty much a full bullish green bar, which I love to see as well. So let's fast forward here to 9:30. So not only, right, did we get a bounce off point value area lows, but we also got a nice high green volume relative to the previous candles, and then also too the candle finished well. So those are the things I'm always looking for. So we added one there. When we added, our stop loss was initially down here at 245 down here because I always like to give it room. That was another mistake that I made in yesterday's trading session where I just did not give myself enough room to allow my bias to play out. If I'd given myself enough room off of one contract, yes, if it hit my stop loss, it would have been about maybe a $50 loss. If I added two contracts, maybe a $100 loss, right? But at least we would have let it play out. So I didn't make that mistake today. Let stuff play out. We did show confirmation that we wanted to head higher, right? So this candle was awesome at 938, right? I love that candle, and then I love this candle too. So we added there. We waited for it to come down though. I've really been learning not to add at the very top. I always do that, right? So we waited for it to come down. Again, added here at VWAP. You can see here, I love seeing this. Why do I like seeing that? Let's fast forward a little bit here. Why do I love seeing, what candle was that? This was at 9:49. Why do I like seeing that? The reason why is volume price analysis is showing me that there's barely any selling, right? Look at all this buying, high volume, high volume, high volume, right? Look at this selling. There's no volume. Now, I am on the 1 minute, right? And the 1 minute can be kind of fast, especially if you're not used to it. Um, and sometimes it can be finicky and kind of fake here and there depending on what happens, right? But that is telling me that it's not selling at all. So here, high volume green bar, right? Selling right after. So obviously price is the most important indicator, but look at that volume. It's low, right? It can give you more confidence in your position. So again, you're looking for good sells, right? This is a scary candle here, right? This is a scary candle here, of course, right? But where are we at? Value area lows again, right? If you really wanted, you can put your stop loss down here. But again, at this time, I've added quite a bit now, right? I think I added about, I want to say 5 or 6 contracts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 at this time. So my stop loss was still at that original point. I think I moved it up slightly, but it was about $200, $206, I think. Right, so we're waiting, right? We're waiting for our stuff to play out. I know though that if we start finishing or start closing below these lows, then I'm like, I probably lost a trade, right? Especially if we start coming down on high volume. So I was waiting for that, but my stop loss was still set at the same place because I accepted that that was my risk for today. Instead, though, instead of that happening, we bounce again, right? So not only do we bounce up from there, we double bottomed. Love to see that. But also, too, again, high volume, heading to the upside, high volume recovery right after that huge sell candle, right? So, really good trading there. I really liked how I took it down here. So now, getting to the end stages of the trade, at this point, it was about a 1 to 1, but then I ended up moving my stop loss once we moved away to where almost kind of where I took it about 259, 260 as we were at these levels. And you can see here I added it 278, 277, 276 because the move had confirmed. Not only are we finishing above these highs here, but also too, we're increasing in buying volume, right? We never got that buying climax up until this point, which is where I sold a lot of it. Um, in fact, I completely exited my position on this last one right here. So that was really good. But I was scared. I was like, do I add here? I hate adding at the top, but I should have had confidence, more confidence anyway, that the buying would continue. It's these types of candles that if I had gotten it here, I would have been more scared, and I'd be like, you know what? I'll just settle for $110, $150, however much it was at the time, because this is signaling selling, or sorry, buying, no, sorry, selling climax, right? I always get those confused. When I was reading Anna Culling's book on volume price analysis, the first time she brought that up in terms of like buying climax and selling climax, I'm like, wouldn't this be um uh selling, or wouldn't this be buying climax, right? Because you're at the top, you're buying, but no, it's um in fact, maybe I've gotten those confused. I'm so tired. But this would be buying climax. The bottom would be selling climax. I believe I need to go back and read it and go to sleep soon. But anyway, it's a climax of what could be the end of this move, right? Which at this point in time right now it has been. We'll see if we come back to these support areas before we head higher, or we'll see if we form support here before we start heading higher. But whenever I see that huge spike in volume, that top wick as well, we'll kind of look at it on trading view before um, we come back to top step. Right? Whenever we see that, it's like, all right, it's time to start looking to exit our position. So that's exactly what we did, but it also hit our target, which was value area high, because you sell at the top and you buy at the bottom, right? Um, Definitely learned from yesterday's video. So I'm really happy with the way that I traded today, right? Everything that we've been learning so far, everything that we're doing, um, and all the mistakes that we're making are all coming together in order for me to grow as a trader and to grow um, in all aspects of my trading in terms of building the skill set. So, patience, consistency, waiting for what you want, which is a big thing, um, and taking the right trades, right? So, I'm really happy with that. I'm glad we got the win today. We were able to end the week on a high note. So, super excited about that. Finally, this graph. I really want to start getting above these highs. We've consolidated here. Let's see if we can start adding. End the month strong. Really looking forward to next week of trading as well, because I feel like I'm finally starting to get a hang of things. But of course, we'll remain humble. We have no idea what can happen in this market. So, um, as long as we're having proper risk management and as long as we're doing what we're supposed to do, then we should be happy at the end of the day, right? If all of this calendar here was red, but every single trade I took was according to my plan, one, I should be happy with that, but two, it just tells me I need a new plan, right? But as of right now, that's not the case. Even on days that we've lost, we've still traded well. Yesterday being the only exception where I just didn't feel like I had a good read on what I was doing. Um, but today traded well. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, right? Even though it's Thursday night for me and this was Sunday night, traded well. And I'm happy about that. So yeah, hopefully we have a positive month. Well, not one more week. We got one more week next week, but then we still have up until the 31st, so really Wednesday night for me. Um, so the 30th to make this a positive month, and we're not too far away. We can actually do it. So I'm really happy about that. Um, anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Let me know how you guys are trading. Um, it has been tough. A lot of times, whenever we start hitting all-time highs, it can be very difficult to trade. There's a lot of chop, a lot of big moves, right? Quickly, and then there's chop the rest of the day. So I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys are implementing proper risk management. And yeah, just let me know how you guys are doing. Let me know your accomplishments for this week, but then also too, let me know what are some areas you can improve on too. Did you pass a combine? Did you get a payout? Um, how are you doing overall? So yeah, that's about it for this video, guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Hopefully you guys are trading well. And yeah, keep trading stoically.